Goldman Sachs has secured the lead left seat in SpaceX's upcoming initial public offering, a move that positions the firm as the most prominent player in what could become the largest IPO in history. This development signals that the SpaceX IPO is transitioning from the internal planning phase to the execution stage, with the prospectus expected to be filed publicly as soon as Wednesday. The document must be available at least 15 days before the investor roadshow, which is scheduled to begin the week of June 8. The IPO aims to raise between $70 billion and $75 billion, with a valuation range of $1.75 trillion to $2 trillion. This would represent a significant jump from the $1.25 trillion valuation set by the XAI acquisition in February. Up to 30% of the shares will be sold to retail investors, which is triple the typical allocation for major IPOs. The lead left position is the most coveted role in an IPO underwriting syndicate. The bank in that spot is responsible for managing pricing, overseeing the order book, and receiving the highest fees. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. $75 billion raise, total underwriting fees could reach $1 billion or more. Goldman's win over Morgan Stanley settles a months-long contest between two of Wall Street's top IPO banks. Morgan Stanley had previously been reported as the lead in some earlier accounts. The underwriting team has been actively courting investors outside the traditional U.S. institutional buyer pool, including overseas retail channels, to handle the unprecedented volume of stock. Beyond the top 5 banks, at least 16 additional banks are working on the deal in smaller roles, including Barclays. The significance of this IPO lies in its scale and the potential impact on the broader financial market. A valuation of $1.75 trillion to $2 trillion would place SpaceX among the most valuable publicly traded companies in the world. The inclusion of retail investors at such a high percentage is notable and could influence market dynamics, particularly in terms of investor sentiment and liquidity. The IPO's success will depend on several factors, including investor appetite, market conditions, and the transparency of SpaceX's financials in the S-1 filing. The upcoming public filing on Wednesday is a key signal to watch. The document will provide the first detailed look at SpaceX's financial position and operations, which could influence investor decisions and market expectations. The roadshow is scheduled to begin the week of June 8, and the final valuation and pricing will be determined during that period. The involvement of Goldman Sachs as the lead underwriter suggests a high level of confidence in the offering's potential. However, the scale of the IPO also introduces significant uncertainty, given the size of the raise and the valuation range. The next key. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Signal will be the public filing on Wednesday. Investors and market participants will be closely watching to see how SpaceX presents its financials and business strategy. The outcome of this filing could shape investor sentiment and determine the IPO's success. The involvement of multiple major banks and the inclusion of retail investors indicate that the IPO is being positioned as a major event with broad market appeal. The final valuation and pricing will be determined during the roadshow, and any deviations from the expected range could have significant implications for the market.